In the heart of a grand hotel ballroom, under shimmering chandeliers and the gentle hum of a string quartet, a wedding was unfolding in full luxury. Guests were dressed in their finest, laughing, posing for selfies, and toasting with champagne. Yet, amidst all the sparkle and celebration sat a quiet 12-year-old girl in a wheelchair, Lily, the CEO's daughter. Paralyzed from the waist down, she had been given the honorary role of flower girl, but as the evening progressed, it became clear no one intended to involve her. Positioned near the edge of the dance floor, Lily watched silently as the world moved on without her. Despite the festive environment, Lily's presence went unnoticed. People glanced her way but never truly saw her. Their smiles were brief, their greetings shallow. Everyone seemed more interested in networking, gossiping, or getting the perfect photo than acknowledging the child who had once dreamed of dancing. Even her father, the powerful CEO hosting the event, was caught up in conversations with investors and media personalities, too busy to notice the sadness in his daughter's eyes. Lily's small hands rested on the sides of her wheelchair. Her eyes searched the room, hoping someone might come over, say something, include her. But one by one, the moments passed, and still, she sat alone. Her heart sank beneath the weight of her isolation, making the beautiful celebration around her feel colder than the marble floor beneath her wheels. All she wanted was to feel seen, just once. In a dimly lit corner of the grand ballroom, Lily remained seated in her wheelchair, far removed from the center of celebration. Laughter echoed across the room, children twirled in excitement, and adults danced without a care, but Lily was left in the shadows, forgotten. Her flower basket, once clutched with hope, now sat untouched in her lap. No one had asked her to join in. Not the children, not the adults. Not even the bride, her own cousin, who had given her a fleeting smile earlier but never followed through with a kind word or gesture. The music played on, and the crowd grew louder, yet Lily only grew quieter. Her eyes, once lit with excitement when she had arrived dressed in a beautiful cream dress and matching flower crown, now dimmed with each passing moment. She tried to stay strong, to keep smiling, but her lips trembled. A single tear slipped down her cheek, unnoticed, like her. She shifted in her chair slightly, as if to make herself invisible, thinking perhaps it was easier that way. No one came to talk. No one sat beside her. She was surrounded by hundreds of people, yet more alone than ever. This was supposed to be a magical evening, a moment she'd remember forever, but not like this. The harsh reality of being excluded, not because of cruelty but indifference, settled over her like a heavy curtain. In a room full of joy, Lily was quietly breaking, and no one saw it happening. Near the dessert table, away from the loud music and glittering lights, stood Daniel, a single dad in a simple suit, holding a small plate of cake. He wasn't part of the elite crowd. He had been invited as a distant relative of the groom and had spent most of the evening watching quietly, keeping an eye on his 10-year-old son, Jake. As Daniel scanned the room, his gaze stopped on something that tugged at his heart: Lily, sitting alone in her wheelchair, her eyes downcast, her flower basket still full. He noticed what others had failed to see, the sadness on her face, the way she kept glancing around as if waiting for someone to include her. Daniel gently nudged Jake and pointed. "See her?" he asked. Jake nodded. "She's the flower girl, isn't she?" Daniel looked his son in the eye and replied, "Yes. And I think she deserves a little more than being forgotten." Without hesitation, the two walked across the ballroom. The crowd didn't notice them. They were too caught up in their own moments. But to Lily, their approach was everything. Daniel crouched down beside her, smiling kindly. "Hey," he said gently. "Would you like some company?" Lily looked up, surprised. No one had asked her that all evening. Jake offered her a small piece of chocolate from the dessert tray and grinned. That small, simple moment, of being seen, acknowledged, began to melt the loneliness around her. It was the first spark of something beautiful to come. Soft music played as Daniel gently wheeled Lily toward the center of the dance floor. The crowd, still buzzing with laughter and chatter, barely noticed, until they reached the middle. Daniel turned to Lily and smiled. "You don't have to walk to dance," he said warmly. Lily looked uncertain, but before she could reply, Jake began tossing flower petals from her untouched basket into the air, circling them playfully. Daniel moved with Lily in rhythm to the music, gently spinning her chair as if it were a graceful waltz. People began to slow their conversations. One by one, guests turned to watch, not out of pity, but with awe. There, in the middle of a wedding overflowing with glamour and performance, was a moment of pure, unfiltered humanity. No choreography. No spotlight. Just kindness. Lily's face lit up in a way it hadn't all evening. She laughed, truly laughed, as Jake tossed petals and danced beside her, and Daniel made her feel like she was exactly where she belonged. Slowly, others stopped dancing. Phones were lowered. Even the bride paused, watching in silence. And then came the CEO himself, her father, who stood at the edge of the dance floor, his confident smile slowly melting into something far more vulnerable. His daughter wasn't a symbol of strength or sympathy in that moment, she was just a child being included. And it took a stranger's kindness to make that happen. It wasn't the wedding performance that would be remembered. It was this unexpected dance. As the music faded, the atmosphere in the ballroom had completely shifted. What had started as a night centered around status, spectacle, and social appearances was now grounded in something much deeper, human connection. Lily sat in the center of the room, glowing with joy. Her cheeks were flushed, her eyes alive, and for the first time that evening, she wasn't invisible, she was the heart of it all. The bride walked over, her eyes teary, and gently knelt beside Lily. "I'm so sorry I didn't include you earlier," she whispered, placing a kiss on Lily's forehead. "You made this night unforgettable." Lily nodded shyly, her smile wide and forgiving. One by one, the other children approached, asking to push her chair, tossing flower petals with Jake, laughing and playing as if a wall had finally been broken down. The CEO, still standing off to the side, finally stepped forward. He looked at Daniel. This humble single father, and his voice cracked as he spoke. "You did what I should have done. Thank you, for seeing her." Daniel didn't say much, just smiled and replied, "Sometimes, it only takes a moment to make someone feel like they matter." As the evening continued, the celebration felt warmer, more real. It was no longer about luxury, it was about love. Lily's quiet suffering had been transformed by one small act of compassion. And that night, everyone left with more than memories of a beautiful wedding, they carried the reminder that kindness has the power to change everything.